What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, going back to Seikima-II. Yes, indeed, Seikima-II Fans Feeling You. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-bibbity bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Brett Parks, and this is actually Brett's prioritized request for the month of September for being a Silver Tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, Brett. Hope you enjoy the show. Brett wanted to see me react to this. It is Seikima-II with a tune called Harmful Rock. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard this song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second. Yeah, this is sounding a little familiar. I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Takum666, okay? And the video has 7,300 views. Well, there you go. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. I believe it says Seikima-II. It says it right there. More than likely that says Harmful Rock. It says so right there. BD9, 4K, 60 FPS. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Sounds like we got a guitar solo coming up. I mean, Demon did point over that way and say guitar, so I'm guessing it's a solo. Okay. I'm digging the tune. I'm actually really enjoying the tune. It's a lot of fun to listen to. It's got a nice tempo, nice beat, nice feel, nice energy, nice drive. All the things I look for in a great hard rock song. So I'm absolutely digging that. The chordal progression, I like what's happening there. It sounds like we're primarily in F sharp minor. But we're hanging around a lot of other notes. We're not just hanging around that F sharp. We're hanging around that we're utilizing the 6 quite a bit. The flat 6 to be more specific. Utilizing that D quite a bit, which is nice. D and E, and then F sharp again. Utilizing the 4 as well. We're kind of skipping around the 5. We have hit the 5 a few times, strictly as transitional chords, though. Not really hanging on 5 a whole lot, or bringing a whole lot of attention to the 5th. It's been primarily just kind of done in passing as a transitional chord to get back to either the root, or up to the 6, or down to the 4, whatever the case may be. It's an interesting approach. It's not at all what I would call predictable. Usually you can count on songs of this style hitting the 5, utilizing the 5 quite a bit as a transitional point, not just as a transitional chord, but as an actual phrase, like an actual, at least a full measure or two. In this case, it's just been like, one beat where we play the 5th for a beat, maybe 2, and then we move right on. So that's cool. I got no problem with that. I think it's creative. Like I said, you don't see that coming. It's not predictable. So I'm digging the song. I'm digging the vibe of the song. I'm digging the feel of the song. The musicianship that we've heard so far is very nice. It's been done solid across the board. Demon's vocals have been on point. I got no complaints about this. None. I got 0 complaints. So let's get back into this and let's see about this guitar solo. Oops. Bonk. Boink. Always watch where you're going. Oh well, it made for a good moment. Not a lot to talk about, if I'm being honest, that I didn't talk about during the course of the reaction, so this is going to be a pretty short review. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Seikima-II with Harmful Rock. This was a request from Brett Parks, and this was actually Brett's prioritized request for the month of September for being a Silver Tier member on the Patreon page. So, there you go, Brett. Hope you enjoyed the show. Okay, like I said, there's not really a lot to talk about that I didn't discuss during the course of the reaction, so I'm going to hit some bullet points just to refresh everyone's memory, talk about a couple of new things, and we're going to call it a day. So, we should be out of here in under 10 minutes, I have a feeling. Anyway, let's get to the score, and we'll see how this goes. On a scale of 1 to 10, I am going to give that overall presentation an 8.2. Yep, 8.2. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, an 8.2. What does that mean? Well, an 8.2 would translate to a great skill rating because overall, I think this was a great presentation. It would also get 4 out of 5 stars and an A- letter grade. So there you go, an 8.2, great skill rating, 4 out of 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Okay, like I said during the course of the reaction, when it comes to the songwriting, I think the songwriting was really well done. I like the fact that we didn't avoid the fifth, but we really didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it. It got overlooked quite a bit, being utilized mostly as a turnaround. Just, a quick little, 2-beat, just 1 or 2 beats maximum on the fifth to turn us around to wherever we're going to go next. Whether it be from the 5 to the flat 6, 5 down to the 4, 5 back to the root, 5 to the 3 to the 1, or 5 to the 7 to the 1, whatever the case may be. There was always the utilization of the fifth as a very quick turnaround to move into the next phrase. We didn't rely on the fifth, like hardly at all, which, if I'm being honest, was very refreshing because a lot of songs are written with the fifth as like the anchor point. I mean, besides the root. The root obviously is always going to be the main focus, is always going to be the main focal point, but the utilization of fifth in a lot of songs that we've heard on the channel and songwriting in general, it's like the next most important chord for some reason. Everybody relies on the fifth as the turnaround point, as the transitional point, as the apex point of every phrase, and sometimes they'll even modulate from the root up to the fifth for the purpose of a pre-chorus. The entire pre-chorus is based on the fifth or whatever. I'm just like, there's so many other chords. Why are you relying on just those 2 for the most part? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So it was really nice to see a breakaway from that, and the utilization of the minor 3s, the utilization of the 4s, the utilization of the minor 6s. Really, more than anything, relying on the minor 6 and the minor 4, which I thought was really cool, really well done. It really broke up the expectation, so the song didn't become predictable. That was really nice. I like that. As far as musicianship goes, I think everybody did a fine job playing their instruments. Guitar sounded really nice. It was a nice little guitar solo. If I'm being honest, I thought it was a little short. I think they could have made that guitar solo a little bit longer, but it's all right. The overall presentation of the song, just the song, I would honestly say I would put that at about a 7.8, maybe 7.9. I dug the tune. I really dug the song as a whole. I like the feel. I like the drive. I like the energy. This song is going to go on playlists without question. And if I had to say where would I rank this as far as my own personal favorite songs from Seikima-II, top 10, easy top 10. I could say top 10 without hesitation. Top 5, I'd like to say yes with 100% certainty, but I don't know. I don't know if I would put it in top 5 or not. But I might. I might. I would have to go through all the songs I've heard from Seikima-II on the channel so far and compare. But there's a possibility. I'm not saying no. I'm saying there's a definite possibility this could be top 5. No, I dug the song. I honestly dug the song, and I like I said, I would give the song on its own at 7.8, 7.9. But I'm giving this an 8.2. What happened there? Well, if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you already know what I'm gonna say. So say it with me, kids.
Sing it out one time.
A live show can help your score, or it can hurt your score. And in this case, it helped. It helped, but not as much as you might think. Believe it or not, I have a couple of qualms with the live show. You'll see what I mean. Let's start at the very top of my list of check boxes here. Stage presence. Are you kidding? Check. These guys always have great stage presence. They look like performers. They act like performers. So I got absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. Stage energy. Check. Big check. Lots of stage energy. Lots of movement around on the stage. And not just from Demon. I saw the bassist moving around. I saw Ace moving around. I saw the other guitar player moving around. They were all moving. So it was nice to see it wasn't all just Demon doing everything. Now, granted, he did most of the heavy lifting, but he was not alone. So that definitely gets a big check. Stage interaction. Okay. I'm giving it a check. Yes, absolutely. That was a lot of stage interaction. I am always one for antics. I am always one for a little bit of comedy on the stage if the song calls for it. If it's appropriate, yeah, sure, no problem. But there is such thing as too much of a good thing, and it goes back to let's call this what it was. It was slapstick. Okay, utilizing that, whatever that, it looked like it was 2 whoopee cushions, fully inflated and held together with, I don't know, a toilet paper roll or something like that to make it look like a weight. That's what it looked like anyway. But it looked like it was 2 whoopee cushions that were held together with a toilet paper roll in the middle. And I'm just like, okay, well, that's kind of cute. But then Demon goes around and hits Ace on the head with it. Okay, that was fun. That was cute. I have no problem with it. The first time, he did it to the bass player. Okay, that's fine. At least it's someone different. Then he came back to Ace and was literally beating him to death with it. And I'm just like, okay, now it's going a little far. There's the realms of good taste, Maybe if he had gone over to the other guitar player, I would have, been more inclined to say, okay, that was, at least he spread it out. But he kept coming back to Ace with it. I'm like, it's a little one-trick pony-ish. Okay, imagine this. Imagine this. Instead of a quote-unquote dumbbell, okay, quote-unquote, that's what it kind of looked like. I think that's what they were going for. Instead of a dumbbell, imagine that it was a pie. It was a pie. It was a whipped cream and custard pie, okay? And you go up and you pie someone in the face with it one time. Boom. Okay, that's funny, right? That's funny. Everybody can laugh at that. Everybody will find humor in that. Now imagine taking that same pie, the same pie tin, don't reload it, just pull it back and hit him in the face again. Well, okay. Well, all right. I kind of get it. Once wasn't enough, I guess. Just for a little extra emphasis, get him a second time. Okay. All right. I'm cool with it, I guess. Fine. Sure. We'll let that one go. Now imagine he pulls it back and hits him a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th time. No reload. Just hitting him with that pie tin over and over again. Now it starts to become a parody of itself. Now it starts to become not so funny, especially when you start seeing blood drawn. Now it becomes concerning. Okay, now what my point is this. There is such a thing as too much of a good thing. I do appreciate the effort. I appreciate the usage of the prop. I appreciate the usage of a little bit of comedy, a little bit of levity, yeah, sure, no problem. But at the same time, when you overdo the joke, it's not funny anymore. And when he came around and really started to, hit on Ace again, and he hit him, like 12 times with it, I was like, there's other things you could do. You could hit yourself in the head with it, or maybe go over to the other guitar player and hit him in the head with it. It felt overdone. So it did help. He got the check mark, absolutely, but it didn't help as much as you might think. It instead of helping this much, it only helped this much. You know what I mean? Moving on, crowd interaction. I'm going to give it the check. I saw a couple of times we saw some crowd interaction, not just from Demon, but I saw some from Ace. I saw some from the other guitar player too. And speaking of the other guitar player on stage right, I couldn't help but notice the time where he noticed the camera on his side and he interacted with the camera. I'm always in favor of that. You don't know if that feed's going to be caught or not, but interact with the camera often enough and your interaction will be caught in the feed. I guarantee you. I'm glad he did it. I'm glad that he was aware of the camera on his side and he was able to interact with it. He took the opportunity and he seized it. Good for him. Absolutely good for him. So yeah, crowd interaction definitely gets the check. I saw Demon and Ace do it as well as the other guitar player. Never saw the bass player do it. He doesn't do it very often anyway. Moving on to showmanship. Yep, I'm gonna give that a check. A lot of things happening up on the stage to get your attention. Like I said, I already talked about the use of the dumbbell, so we won't go into that again. I did notice Demon with the water bottle doing the old spray. Would have been more entertaining if that hadn't been water, if that had been like, Everclear or something like that, and he had a lighter or something and got a fireball going. But because his spray technique is actually really good, he got a good mist going there. It's not easy to do, so would have been nice to see him do a couple of fireballs instead. That would have been really fun, but that's all right. The water works too. I'm sure there are fans who will appreciate getting doused by Demon. So I don't think they're going to complain a whole lot. Let's see. Well, last thing, production. Yeah, I mean, these guys always have good production. I am really curious, and I'm just going to end with this. What in the world is up with those things? I'm serious. It looks like two whoopee cushions fully inflated and stuck together with a toilet paper roll or something like that, some sort of a tube. What is that? What does that represent? Is it supposed to be a dumbbell? Is that what it's supposed to be? I don't get it. Even if that is what it's supposed to represent is a dumbbell, what does that have to do with this song? I have no idea. So I don't get it. I'm sure fans of Seikima-II are going to let me know in the comments what it represents, what it's for. Will that help? No, I probably not, but it won't help the score, but it might help my understanding a little bit more about it. But no, in any case, the overall presentation, I liked what I saw. The live show, like I said, there were a couple of things about the live show I wasn't 100% thrilled about, so it didn't go as high as I would have wanted it to go. It could have been a little higher. I'm not saying how much higher, but it could have been a little bit higher if those couple of things were taken care of. But overall, though, 8.2. Yeah, I feel good about that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.2, which is a great skill rating, 4 out of 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care. Whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.